Hey guys, so I wanted to jump on here before I get into the video with the tax advisor because I am missing a lot of footage from our discussion. I had to go in and out with my actual camera, so I did actually lose all of the footage, so I'm really sorry. So I'm trying my best to edit this video in a helpful way. If you guys have any more questions, you could put it down or you can just email them to her. She has provided her email for you guys. I trust her with everything. She's so good at how she talks and how she puts these businesses taxes together. So if you guys are in Texas, go ahead and hit her up. All her information's down below. But without further ado, let's get into the tax questions that you guys had. So I am finally here filming the tax video everybody has been asking me to. It is actually not my accountant that I have in Virginia, but it's one of my students from my one-on-one. This is where I met her from. So I love, yes, I love meeting my students and understanding and asking them what they do because it could help anybody else. I could bring them in on my channel. There's room for everybody to eat. So we have Miss
Tatiana Simmons. Hello everyone, my name is Tatiana Simmons. I am a full charge bookkeeper in the state of Texas and also in New Orleans, Louisiana. I have clientele that covers construction, real estate, basic small businesses, startups. I specialize a lot in cleanup. I started my journey at the age of 19. I worked for Bank of America and I did a little bit of their collections area. Went to New Orleans. I started working with schools, small schools in their financial area. Worked in the automotive industry with their finance. I worked in the oil field with their finance. And I worked for the airport as far as a Japanese company to help build their budgets and things like that. I did that part also.
So how can you help everybody today who's been asking me all of these tax questions?
I would say my best way of helping is helping you organize and understanding, getting you comfortable with your day-to-day. And that's where financial issues happen, regardless of what business you're in. I want to give you the basics of being comfortable with your business. So how to reconcile, or I'll mention things such as your invoices. How do you do your invoices? And how do you do your taxes? Like when you take in income, how much do you put away? I'm here to answer those questions.
And what can you not do for us today?
I cannot tell you what your state requires you to do for your taxes. I am not able to tell you that. I am in Texas, so Texas tries something else, and I'm partially in Louisiana. As far as North Carolina, Washington, everything's a little bit different. You have to do your due diligence as far as figuring that part out. But I can tell you the percentage to take it off. I can recommend programs like QuickBooks Online for you to start putting your things back and go from that area, or I can advise you to create an Excel spreadsheet, or I can just give you my email. You say, hey T, I need you to help me with a budget. And I say, okay, fine, let's do that part.
Next question. What is the tax preparation process?
I love the tax preparation process. Tax preparation practice is having your things together as far as what you did from point A to point B. Taxes are not as scary as most people think. It only becomes scary when you have so much procrastination built up. Tracking your ability, tracking your finance. If you made $500 that day, you made $6,000, doesn't matter. I need you to write down your actions, babysit yourself. And when you go to your tax person, your CPA, then you can present all this information. Make sure that it's organized, because if it's not organized, it makes the CPA's job harder. So they have to constantly flip through, and they may miss the money that they really need to be accountable for, especially if you're dealing with the thousands and the hundreds and things like that. That's a lot of money that you get penalized for just because your day-to-day atomic habits are not being applied in the right way that actually serves you.
When it's time to pay taxes, what do I send to my CPA? You probably already kind of like touched on it, but let's do that specific question.
Me, and I can tell you what I do with my clients because I have a CPA. I send her a pretty binder because I'm super OCD. I'm super color coded with all my actions. Is really bad. And I send her everything from my vehicle because I travel from state to state to state, depending on what's going on. And I send her some of my bills. If I had I have over 10,000 points for American Airlines. That's how many flights I've caught. And I literally have to put my tickets in, all the above. I send my travel, my expense, my gas, my food, because I had to meet with that client. I had to pay for that bill. So I put the names on the receipts and I send it in.
Oh,
And
food
at the end of
expense.
the year, I submit it to her. And it's after my reconciliation, things like that, for my monthly stuff to go over my bills. I also add a little bit of note in there also so she can see where my investments went up and it went down, how it fluctuated. And it helps to send them all that too. So if there may be a deductible or write off that I can have and I didn't notice it, and she says, hey, well, you can write this off and you can write that off. Have it all collected, put together, send it to them like that. Anything you can think of can go. Your daily actions. I don't care if you bought a tie because it was a red event and you needed a tie for that event to meet with that particular client. That was an expense.
I love that. That actually makes me excited to like, I love writing things down. So like having a pretty binder, and it's way easier to track what you did that day than trying to think of it a week later. So if you just
Yes.
sit down and write it down for that day, it's easier.
My planner, my December. This is what has to happen for December. These are all the things. As far as my money for the day, I'll just add a little bit of note and say, this is how much money I made that day. This is the locations I have to go to. They're already screenshotted in my phone. I add that up at the end of the week. And when I turn in my taxes, which I meet with her 2 months in advance, or I talk to her at least quarterly, I hand her my book and I said, this is what I'm looking at. And she's going to say, well, T, you may have to cut back on some things. You may need to add some things.
When I looked at my tax papers from last year, I was like, I don't understand any of this. I was a mess, but I want to be more organized now. Like I'm going to hire you.
I'm here to help.
Okay, how should a CPA play their role? What's the pros and cons?
Your financial advisor, CPA, bookkeeper, person who handles your 401k, they know a little bit too much about you. It's like going through your garbage. They know if you were happy this month, if you were sad that month, based off your spending. So you want to get along with that person and not like, ha 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 ha, more and so of, I need you to tell me the truth regardless of the fact, and I need to trust you enough to take that truth.
How often do you pay your taxes, monthly or quarterly?
I pay my taxes quarterly, and due to the money I make and the streams of a financial income that I created when I first started, I started with yearly. But as you go on, you make a little bit more profit. You pay it quarterly.
Ooh, what are some mistakes not to make doing your taxes?
When doing your taxes, when you go in and you're unprepared and you call someone that day because you want to check, don't call
Oh
someone
my
just
God,
that.
because I had anxiety. I was like, the whole entire time I knew I had to do it, and I knew I was unprepared. I knew all my papers were in a jumble, and I found her that day, and I had to file an extension because she was like, there's no way I can get this done this day. She was a heaven sent, but now I really, 2021, I want that pretty binder that you're talking about.
Do a pretty binder. Do not go to your CPA. Do not like overflood them. Some of them they can handle it. All of them can handle it. But some things can slip through the cracks, and they could have did their job 10 times more efficient if you would came organized.
Exactly.
Do you pay self-employment tax? Should you pay self-employment tax? So not just for you. You know, a lot of people say that when you start a business, you should pay yourself first. A lot of people do give that advice. I never knew if it was great advice, but you shouldn't be the last person to get paid, should you?
My advice is, what's your budget? Can you actually pay yourself? Because how can you pay yourself if your expenses are way more than you make?
Mm-hmm.
So you're in the hole every month, every week, living check to check.
That's good advice too. So, what are these tips you were talking about?
I would advise to have a business account and a personal account. Do not cross that. Brings me to tip number 2. You just go through your receipts. Let's say you paid it in cash. You go through your receipts, you go through your payments, you're like, okay, this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense. And it helps you kind of learn yourself as far as your financial behavior. Of course, you can do it monthly also. I say always glance over it weekly, just in case something happens. And go over it through the month, go through your entire thing. They give you a credit card statement, they give you a bank statement. Just go through it, match it up. Or, if you have QuickBooks Online, if you have an Excel spreadsheet of all your stuff, just match it up, see what looks right, see what payments actually went through. My third one would be to record your payments that you receive, deposits, checks, cash. Record it, record it, record it. My fourth tip would be to record your categories, your expenses in categories. So that would be the chart of accounts. I kept saying, get your chart of accounts, get your chart of accounts. So my personal chart of accounts have to do with rent and what's in my rent, my lights, my property taxes, my everything that goes to my house, and my vehicle expenses, my maintenance, my services, all the above. This goes here. If I'm putting gas, of course I'm going to label it under my automotive stuff. And if I am buying food for this thing, yes, I'm on the clock. So this is meals and entertainment expenses and my personal, to separate a little bit better. 5 would record inventory you receive. This is if you have a printer, you have paper. If you're doing a pop-up shop, an e-commerce, you want to make sure that you record all the things that you're buying that is actually functioning your business. Number 6 would be to make sure that you're invoicing your clients. Some clients may pay you in cash. Some clients may pay you through Cash App, and some clients may pay you through a check. I know you've seen these countless videos with Jazz on there collecting her checks. Make sure you put on that invoice, I was paid this way. I was paid with that way. It's a good way to track your finances. Number 7 would be to pay your scheduled bills. I will suggest to always do like the account for your bills. If you need to shove it all over there, I know some couples, they have connected accounts. Shove all your bills in that account. Know what you need to pay for the month. Put it over there. It doesn't cross with your personal finances. And number 8, always, always, always back up your data. I understand everyone's like a technical geek every day, all day. QuickBooks Online is amazing, but I will print out my financial statements. I will print out this and I will keep it in that pretty, pretty little binder, and I will show my CPA like, hey, this is what happened this week. This is my portfolio when I want a new investor. So look at me. Here's what's happening. This is what happened. This is my fluctuation. You always want to have proof in a document, and you want to have proof digitally just in case you have to send it over. Mm-hmm. And those are my tips and tricks for your day-to-day or your week-to-week actions to actually kind of have a good budget and good habits.
So to wrap up this video and what she said really quickly before you guys email her is you want to keep everything. Keep your receipts. Track everything in a planner. Make sure you're tracking everything on your phone so that can help you with the taxes preparation when you're going to your tax accountant's office. Get a good CPA. Make sure you get someone who knows your tax law in your state. Make sure that you are saving at least 30 to 45% of your income. Well, not 45%, but at least 25 to 30% of your income. No, just don't save $150 from that one signing. You want to add things up for maybe the week or maybe the month, and then take out your 25 to 30% for your taxes. And remember, your write-offs will sometimes let you keep your money. So just because you have to save 30% of your income does not mean 30% of your income will go all to taxes. That's why you need to keep your receipts for your expenses. That's why I created my planners for you to track your expenses, track your habits. And it's exactly why that she was the one who suggested you do that as well. An LLC is good to have under your business so that you can separate your expenses from your personal. So of course I'm going to have her information down below for you guys to call her, or well, she does like emails. If you guys want to use her for your tax advisor, she can do it virtually. And also I have one more person who also provides it as well, and his name is, so of course I'm going to have her information down below for you guys to call her, or well, she does like emails. If you guys want to use her for your tax advisor, she can do it virtually. And also I have one more person who also provides it as well, and his name is Jamel. He has his own tax business that he also offers virtually to help people out in different states, but also to help people who need help with their businesses. And his firm is called TRI Taxes, and I'm going to leave his info down below. Not only do they do business taxes, but they also do personal taxes, and they can do your back taxes. So if you forgot to file one year or you couldn't get to it, then they also will provide that service for you. You can go to tritaxes.com, which is his website, to call him or to Skype him, however he does his integration to help you out with your taxes. And of course I'm going to show you his website. And then of course you got to hit up my girl, especially if if you're in Texas, so she can help you, maybe even face-to-face. I love a good face-to-face conversation. There's really nothing that can beat it, but she also does virtual if you guys need that help. So I really hope that this video was helpful. I know it was a little hard for me to edit with the sound bites that were deleted and all that, but I hope that you will look at my planner website, take down the planners. Like she said, you gotta have it written down, track your habits, have it in your phone, also keep your receipts, and also put your receipts online. It's good to have the apps, but you need to write and track your expenses online. Might as well do it in a cute way. Check out my website. Thanks for watching, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.